How's it going, everyone?
Hey, Lynx, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. Wait another minute, see if anyone else strolls in, and we can get started. All right, 303. I feel like the grace period has been met, so why don't we get started? Welcome, PMs, to our first edition of our PM Tactical Meet, our weekly sync for Season 7. This season, we're going to try something a little bit different. GCal and I are going to be splitting the PM Guild coordination role. So I'm going to be running the meetings, and GCal's going to be working a little bit more on some of the tactical stuff. So we'll see how it goes. As we try to do in PMs, in Agile PM, we're going to run the experiment, see how it goes, and see how we need to tweak as we go. Now, as part of our weekly meeting, actually, you know what? I just realized that I forgot something. New member intros. As part of our weekly meeting, and the idea of practicing our practice, which is like I guess like a theme that we came up with at the end of last season. Something that we want to do is to make everyday PMing part of our weekly tactical. So in the attempt to kind of educate as we're going, practicing our practice, I'm going to be running our tactical just as we would run, just as I'd run like any other project that I was managing. So at the end of every meeting, I'm going to create the meeting notes for the next week. And PMs, you can add anything you want in the guild-wide announcements. You can add anything you want in the discussion topics. You can do as you wish, and the intent is hopefully we will get a little bit better at it as we go on. So speaking of that, what is a tactical meeting? You've probably heard me say it a few times. This is our weekly tactical meeting. It's a weekly sync where we can review and prioritize the work being done in our guild and eliminate blockers if possible. Really big, a really normal PM tool, I guess. It's a core part of our PM process. If you have, it is like the start of an iteration. So an iteration is just a unit of time in which we're trying to get some work done, and is core of one of the agile. It's a core agile PM practice. Any questions on anything I've said so far, or if you have questions on what a tactical meeting is? Okay. Well, if there's no questions,
Yeah.
we'll move on.
Can you
Oh
please
yeah, go
come
ahead.
again? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Please.
fine, Lynx.
Pardon, I can't hear you, please. Can you re-explain what you just said about tactical meeting?
Yeah. So tactical meetings are a core agile PM tool. They're basically a weekly sync where we all get back on the same page about what work there is to do, what is the status of that work, and what is the priority of that work. I would say one of the bigger things is to prioritize things, is to prioritize our work. So that's kind of what the weekly tactical is for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
All right, no problem. So, in running a weekly tactical, I'm hoping that other people learn what it is like to run a weekly tactical. So that's what we'll try to do. But first off, let's get into our new member intros. I see we have a few new members here. I'll go down the list in a second, but essentially, when I call your name, or if even after I call your name, if I miss you, just unmute, tell us what brings you here, and tell us how you'd like to contribute. Why don't we start with you, Gabby? Are you able to unmute, Gabby? Gabi, maybe?
GM, everyone.
GM.
Yeah, my name is Gabi, and I'm a graphic designer, a product designer. I'm just looking to how I can contribute in the guild. This is my first meeting actually, and I've been in the guild I've been in DAO for a while, but I'm just looking to contribute in the project management guild. Yeah.
What is it about project management that interests you?
Well, I've just been looking at the start here to get one or two things about the guild, just to know about what they do for now.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Gabby. Any other new members who want to tell us a bit about themselves? I think I saw one or two pop in and then leave. I think that's everyone. All right, down to the guild-wide announcements. Anything the entire guild needs to know, put it here. If you're working on something educational, if you're working on a project as part of the PM Guild and you need some input, put it here. It's not to say you can't also put it in PM General, but it's also a good place to do it. So we have the intro to the Web3 course. Could use some editing eyes on it. I think this is something that you put in, Sprinkles.
It is, yes. So it is on, there's the link right there. It is also in the Notion and in the Intro to PM channel.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Sprinkles.
But just know that, I'm sorry, just know that anything that you edit right on there in the Notion, the site's not live, but it's like the live demo site, I guess. So it'll, go right and edit that.
Great. Thank you very much. Sprinkles, Season 6 Coordinate sign up is live. You can follow this tally form to sign up. It's only for seasonally active members. If you're not seasonally active member for Season 6, that means that one of the months you were active. If you're not, then I will strip you out, but I will still take your feedback. So if you feel like if you're not a seasonally active member and you want to get feedback, feel free to use that form, but you won't be included in the Coordinate. And the PM hoodies are for sale. I think someone already got one. It's funny because I had been kind of avoiding looking at that until I was ready to buy, but it looks like someone got one already. Hex STVG has their management hoodie already, so I think it's free worldwide shipping if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty exciting. We have our first swag. So take a look if you haven't already. Now, on the task board, from a task perspective, it's essentially like a Kanban board, but I changed the view to be a little bit more conducive to a tactical meet. At the top, we have no status, and I'm going to look at these ones because I want to give them a status, but Sprinkles for Winners, the onboarding, this PM Guild First Quest bot, is this something you're actively working on at the moment?
So not at the moment, but I can be.
How about I put it on deck, and when you're ready to work on it, you can pull it off of the on deck.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. And we have our onboarding Research Bankless Academy, Spirited F. I'm not sure if they are working on this. They're not here. Anyone, I guess like Mikhail, since it's part of Talent, do you happen to know if they're working on this at the moment?
Yeah, they took on the tax last season, and they have not close to last season, so they are yet to add any updates, and they are not in call, so I have to reach out to them to ask them.
Okay, so I'll just go right here, pop this open, and just ask at Spirited F. Spirit. Did F? Nope. I guess that's not working. At Spirited. Oh, they're gone. Are they out of our? Doesn't look like I can find them. Anyways, I'll let you do that, Mikhail. I'm going to put this into the backlog then, because I don't see them answering it. It's been 2 months since the last status update on this. Activities collected in our retro. This is from August 5th. Kind of feel like this is old now. What do you think, Mikhail? It says for the talent work stream. We have
it's old. It's old. I was thinking maybe the Notion administrator probably cleaned off some of these tasks, but they probably thought we were still like taking the notes from this. So yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and complete it because I think it is completed. And boom, it's gone. Out of our minds. Part of the reason that we have these, that I set it up this way is so that we're only looking at the tasks that we actually want to complete, keeping our mind space, our mind space clean. Here is another missing thing. It looks like this has not happened yet, but it's been a while since it's been worked on. At GCal, are you still working on this? I'll just leave him that for an async update, and we'll put it into the backlog because we don't have any information that he's necessarily working on this. So we've handled our no status going down. Stuff at the top, most important. As we go down, it gets less and less important. So the intent is the stuff on the top is most important, and we will traverse our board starting from the top. That's how we do a tactical view. Looking at the completed section, mirror article content edit, that is completed by GCal. That's awesome. I will check that off as complete. And the Intro to Web3 PM course, this is completed? Okay.
It's not completed. Sorry.
Okay. So is GCal working on this, or is it you who's working on this now?
I'm really not sure, I guess.
Okay. So it's not
Maybe we're
completed.
working together.
I also see other PM courses. Maybe it's like could it be that it is a duplicate task?
So I'm not sure. I think everything might have gotten archived when it was getting archived, and I had to pull stuff out of archive in order to see it last season.
Okay.
So whether it duplicated it or not, I'm not sure. I know, I'm not with the Web3 PM course. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But
Okay.
either way, it's getting work done.
And you're the one who's working on it, right?
Yeah, we all are. I mean, GCal's worked on it.
Okay. I'm going to put this in progress.
Okay.
There we go. All right. We'll start at the top. For the stuff that's in progress, you'll notice that I added a little complete thing. So when things are in the completed section, we can celebrate our victories. So looking forward to seeing people move their status to completed so that as we're here together as a group on Fridays, we can celebrate our wins. That is the intent behind it. So don't click the complete, change the status to complete. For now, write Samantha article for Mirror account. Is this still going on? GCal or Oak
Yes.
Floors or McKeel? Yeah.
So it is still going on. We are having the content edits by file. So they are still like going to the success criteria, and then they also they want to help Sprinkles edit some part of the course first. So yeah, it's still going on.
Okay, cool. And we have a season 6 KPI project interview. Oak Floors, how's this going? Oh, is Oak Floors here actually? I don't see them.
Actually done.
This
It's
one's
done.
done? Awesome.
Yes.
So I will put it into completed date as today. I will set the status as complete, and I'll mark it off as complete. Boom. Out of our mind. Project intake form. Is this still going on?
Yes, with Rumif and the Oak Floors. So they have a thread for that. The thread has been it was from this thread that we actually came about the project KPI form. So yeah, it's still going on. Well, Rumif has been inactive for a while. Oakflows was active, but yeah, they also had this sort of retro to do, and then close to season 6, they were kind of like inactive. So I'll just reach out to them to hear their update.
All right. Next, we have thought leadership and retrospective for reputable DAO. I think that this is not going to happen from Renee. Renee's not here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put these into our backlog. I'm going to remove Renee actually, and then put it into our backlog. Use process to use Miro.com, including template. I'm not sure.
That was done.
This done?
That was done. Yeah.
All right. Completed. I will set a completed date on this. And we'll mark it off as well. Great. Discuss and schedule onboarding sessions. Not sure I know who this person is. Eric Chung.
That was done. That was a project given to Shibomi and Ipolites. Yeah. So I guess it was when the one was setting the tax, he probably moved some backlog or something. It was done.
Oh, I can't find Oluwajibomi here. And you said it was who? And Hippolyte?
Oluwajibomi and Ipolite. The thing is, the Notion workstream had some sort of cleanup to the guilds, the total all guilds Notion page. So there are some that had access before that no longer have access now, and they need to like share the access with them again. But as at that time, before they had the cleanup, tax was done.
Okay. So this was completed on December 6th. I'm going to put it as completed and mark it off. Done. All right. Run analytics on engagement results. I see Jay Fanny, Latson, Renee, Ray Bankless, and Spirited F were working on this. This was from September, though. Is this still going on?
This should be done because there is no update on it again. So I'm guessing the.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's even season 6 from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's good for us to get these things that are done off of our Kanban board anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done out of here. There we go. Promote the team, PM team in BDAO. All right. Looks like it hasn't been worked on since September 2nd-ish. I see season 7 on here, but it doesn't feel like a season 7 task.
I moved it over to season 7. That season, Spirited was supposed to work on this. Also supposed to work on that. So they were kind of like splitting their time with the others. So I moved this to season 7, and they are not in the call. So I've not been able to get to them. I've actually not seen them that well in the PM guild as of late. So
all right, I'm gonna put it on deck. I'm gonna put it on deck, and you can bring it back up, and you can reactivate it when someone in the talent work stream is ready to execute on it. All right, so we have our Intro to Web3 PM course, which we already talked about. Education articles. Sprinkles, can you tell me a little bit more about this task? It is very empty.
It is. I think it was just a page that was in something. Links.
So we don't need it?
Nope.
All right, let us delete it. Nice. Look, this is looking better already. We're getting way more focus as a guild. PM courses. I see database of tools, strategy, KPIs, and OKRs. Is this an active thing that you're working on, Sprinkles?
It is. Yeah, I need to build it into a better, easier to read database that can stay up for the whole season. Ernest has given me, or I've seen a couple of pointers from Ernest on good databases.
All right. I asked you to add some definitions of, I guess there's like success criteria. Let's see that. Add some success criteria to this task when you get a chance, Sprinkles, so that we understand what's going on. All right. Next thing up, we have recording tasks completed from BB on Notion. This task was put on BB, completed by Bobo to the Moon. It's part of the education workstream. Are you aware of this task? Are you aware of this task, Sprinkles?
No.
No.
Sorry. Yes, I am.
Okay. So what is it? Is it completed? It looks like it said it was completed.
So it is. What that was an article that Bobo to the Moon wrote that I needed to document somewhere for payroll to be able to see, so that I could give them a completed task for it, because they submitted the
Okay.
task, but we didn't
So-
have it recorded anywhere.
Okay. So should I put this as complete?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Next, we have season 6 list educational needs for a project manager specific to Web3. I see that there's a lot here. Is this still ongoing?
That one can be completed.
All right. Look at us completing tasks, getting stuff done. All right. Weekly Sync AV, Ernest of Gaia. I see that you have your success criteria and description here. Okay, so this is for today's meet. I will leave it here then. Weekly call note taker. This is probably again one of those tasks in which they took the meeting notes for January 20th. Is that correct? I suspect.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to complete it then. And that's off of our mind. Create DOR and DoD templates. These exist. I see that there's a so DoD is definition of ready and definition of done, I guess. We're using success criteria, it seems like, here now. So we have a definition of done. We need definition of ready.
I don't think so. I think that was something that JP had made maybe in season 5.
It
But,
looks like
but I
it's-
know it was asked for like this, like specifically like that. I'm not sure why though.
Okay, let's ask for a little update on this. At Cella Vista, are you still working on this? I see we have success criteria now. So maybe
Thanks. Is that Silly
on-
Vista or is it JP?
so it says Cella Vista, who it's attached to here.
Okay.
But we can see. We'll see the answer we get back. So in this way, we can be async. Cella Vista may not be able to make it to this meeting, but they can create tasks and update asynchronously, and we will see them as we come in. Because if you look at here, it actually has the date in some of these older ones. Actually, maybe it might be better to look at some of these older ones with other. See, darn it. I was hoping to get one written earlier. Here we go. September 15th, September 14th. So you can see how fresh the comments are. So that's a way that we can be asynchronous, just so everyone knows. PM support for Podcast Hatchery Oak Floors. This is ongoing from season 5, but I don't know if this is still going on. Is this still happening in season 7?
I don't think podcast hatchery, not to interrupt you, is even running right now.
Podcast
It
Hatchery.
was done. It was done by season 5 actually. Like it was completed then.
All right. Great. We don't need any kind of old tasks on our Kanban board. Let's get rid of them. All right. And support Podcast Hatchery again. This is, again, another thing that was done, and it's completed. Okay. So that's all of our in progress tasks. Now let's stop for a second. Are there other things that are in progress that aren't captured on this list here? Because it feels like we have more going on in the guild than is actually being captured here. I know that there is another Kanban board for the work that Oak Floors is doing, well, if I'm not mistaken. Season 6 project interview KPI board. Yeah, so I'll just leave this there. But other than the interview task board, are there other things that are going on in the guild that aren't captured here?
Yeah, I mean, definitely merchandise. Like, I
Yep.
definitely like are we going to be marketing it at all? Are we going to, have any publicity around it, Twitter stuff, you know, all that good stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was techno. Oh man, I can't find this person. No, darn it. Well, okay. So who has been working on the merch? Is it just Techno X or anyone else?
They
No
had
one else.
help with the logo with Oculus and Chameleon, but yeah, basically it's been TechnoX.
Okay. Is Techno X on our Notion?
I don't think they will be there now. You just have to like give them new permissions. The Notion admin is yeah, we give them new permissions. Most of them when they claim that. So
All right. So I'm just going to drop TechnoX a little. Are you on our Notion? I was trying to give you credit for your execution on this. All right. I'll add a comment here. The merch link is out. I will grab that. We need to market it, probably. So I'm not sure. I guess Sprinkles, you were talking about other success criteria that you think we need to do, market it and other things. Can you maybe say some more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should get some sort of publicity around it so that we can hope to increase sales. Definitely on Twitter. If it does have the NFT attached, we could always, go the looking to help onboard route also, and try to get it into like Facebook and Instagram, like Web 2 type places, using the NFT as our like luring mechanism, I guess. I don't want to say it like that. As our mechanism.
Cool. Makes sense.
But do we have an Instagram account? Do we have a Facebook account? Like, I don't think that we do.
No, we just have Twitter at the moment.
Yeah, which is great. I think.
Okay. Anyone want to take on some of this promotion? Not yet, huh? Okay, I'm gonna put this in on deck. I guess it's in progress right now.
If we are kind of working with the Twitter promotion, I think we can like bounce it out to the Twitter manager, like Vicky One. I think is one that operates the Twitter account, so they could be the one tweeting that out about our merchandise and all that. But for Instagram, I'm not sure we have some Instagram manager, but yeah, the Twitter manager could handle that. So maybe Vicky One.
Could we also ask marketing?
We could, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I think won't there be some sort of? Are we going to pay marketing for the stuff?
We don't necessarily need to because they're a department. So there's a lot of things that are available that aren't paid. So it's not a guild, it's a department. So they kind of like the DAO pays for them to do stuff. So I'm not sure if they can do everything that one might want, but they can they can certainly help us. And if we need like art or other kinds of things, we can pay for that out of the PM Guild multisig.
We could go to them concerning Instagram and TikTok. I think they have a TikTok account, so can also go to them for Twitter, but it's also advisable for us to like tweet it out ourselves. So PM Guild Twitter page, tweet it out, merchandise. That looks good.
Anyone want to talk to the marketing guild?
Yeah, I'll reach out to them.
All right. Awesome. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Okay, great. We got a task going here. One thing. Okay, so I guess like this is guild visibility. Put it here. And another thing is, are there other guild activities that we're working on that aren't captured here? Okay.
We have like the PM glossary we are working on, but since we are working on the course first, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I just missed one thing. The PM Guild, what did you say?
Glossary. So it's supposed to contain like jargon from PM, Web3 PM. So folks going through the intro to PM Guild through the course could have some sort of a reference to like refer back to if they don't get some, say if you include DOD or DOR. Not everyone might be like, if someone is, let's say the reader is someone that's learning how to PM, they might not be familiar with DOD or DR. Instead of going to Google, you can just like access the glossary from the course itself and refer to it. Okay, DOD is definition of done, DR definition of ready, and some other instance as that. So I created that tax last season, but we're still talking about how it will not kind of like interfere with the course itself, how it will together with the course. So
are you actively working on this?
As of now, no, because I felt like I can't like, I wanted to set up a bounty for that for folks to take on, but I'm still not sure how that does not that's actually fitting the course schedule. Because at that time I created the tax, the course was already like midway or let's say almost done. So I wanted the glossary to be something for folks to refer to. So maybe this is a new season, I'll just like set it up as a bounty and hopefully someone takes it on and complete it before we are done with the whole course. So yeah, they have something to refer to.
All right. Okay, great. And I also put the Mirror Post PM and Writers Guild collab because I think that this is active as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. Any updates on that one?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, Fine is taking on the editing for the Samantha Mine article. So as of now, they are still like going through the success criteria. So before that, they need to like sprinkles go through the motion. So the intro to PM article and edit them for words. And so when they are done with that, they'll jump on the article. They have the time to finish it before the end of the month because we have the timeline to like release a mirror article every month. So before the end of the month, we should have the Samantha Mine article up on Mirror. So then we take on the next. So yeah, still active.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're a little bit over on our tactical, but the idea is I'll try to go through some of these on deck posts and trim it down as well, as some of these look like they are already completed as well. But that being said, Like for instance, is the test snowball for January payroll? January payroll went out already, right? So are we still doing this, Jay Fanny? Oh, Jay Fanny's not here anymore. Okay. Well, anyways, I'll go through and prune some of the stuff that's on deck. But yeah, that's kind of the idea behind a tactical, is that we understand what we're doing for the next sprint or the next iteration, which is everything that's in this in progress section. This is what we're trying to accomplish as a guild. And then the on deck is kind of like what things people can pull off when they wanted to do some more things. So for new joiners, some of these things might be interesting, but of course, because they are, this is a little bit out of date. It's not a great look at it for new joiners, but you can check out our weekly tactical to see work or even suggest work that you want to do. So that's kind of the tactical portion of our meeting. Now we have 3 minutes left to talk about some discussions. So Sprinkles for Winners had some in this tactical brainstorm document, plan on a page, timeline, guild team organization, and whiteboard product. Another thing I want to do is definition of active members. We had some talk about this over the gap week asynchronously, and it may be something that we want to talk about as well. Any discussion items particularly interest anyone that they want to talk about today? Or are there new ones maybe that aren't here?
So you already mentioned it, but I want to like reference it again. We're talking about MAM model or SAM model. So I feel we're not having more folks than I expected take on tax last season, because they were probably still kind of confused about the whole active member tag. So I was hoping we could like maybe stretch it out to the call if we have time, and folks in the call probably gets, okay, this is what I have to do to get my monthly active member tag. And then there's difference between the monthly active member tag and then the seasonal active member, which we use for coordinate and some other stuff. So if we don't have any other discussion, we could like take it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good idea. So we also had like, this is our current, I'm just going to grab this and put it in here. Current active membership calculations. That's right here. So basically currently, and tell me if I'm wrong, but active guild members have, let's see, what is it? First of every month, the role of PM Guild active member Discord will be granted to those who have achieved their qualifying activities in the previous month. These are the qualifying activities: elected role holder, signer on the multi-sig, 2 tasks per month on the Kanban board. And the task types are operational, assets, learning materials. So that's kind of like the idea behind it. This is how we calculate active members. Then at the end of the season, when we were trying to run our governance process, we realized that some people who probably should have been able to stand for some roles weren't able to, because they ended up not being an active member just for that last month, because they didn't do 2 Kanban tasks. Maybe they did 1 or 0, even though they had been an active member for the previous 2 months. So I personally didn't feel like that was fair. I thought if you were active during the season, you should be able to stand for a role. What do you think? And that by you, I mean everyone in this call.
I just want to point out that the BDIP 7 passed, and so after this season, we're probably transitioning to 4-month seasons, three seasons a year, starting and ending with the beginning of the year. So there'll be some like technical updates to docs, I'm assuming, for each guild. Shouldn't require much discussion, but probably the sooner we review that, the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
so that's something we're definitely gonna have to update.
Well, then that it makes sense. So, like, if you're active 3 months out of the 4 month season, right? I would think that, like, yeah, you're probably, I'd consider you an active member for the whole season. So maybe just, you know, do they need to be active 2 out of the 4 months, 3 out of the 4 months? You know, but looking at it at that lens, you know,
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at that as well. Just use colors there as a nice idea. Any other thoughts and feelings on this?
So, my thoughts are that it seemed like a whole lot of work last season, and confusion around active membership. So potentially anything that lessens the overhead. I don't know what that would look like or how that would really work, but I do obviously think that an active member should be actively contributing, but how can we ensure that people that are actively contributing don't get overlooked?
Yeah,
If somebody is an active member, then there can be some sort of automated process.
Yeah, I also felt like there was some confusion around, like, I guess, like, I felt like any task, whether it was paid or unpaid, should count towards active membership, and I think that other people didn't feel that way.
So, that's, I don't know. So if, say for education, I put up 20 different bounties, right? Because the bounties are they just to the Bankless community, or does Bounty Board go, is it external also? Like, I know D-Work is external also.
Yeah, I mean, it's people who are on this Discord, and
Discord.
you can further refine that by putting a role there. But yeah, so I mean, I guess, like, can you describe, like, the problem use case you're talking about? If you put up 20 bounties,
Sure. So the problem case that I'm talking about is somebody that hasn't been onboarded to the guild, that's claiming a bounty and could possibly get the active membership tag, though they haven't been onboarded. So maybe you need this role in order to claim it, but then I don't know that we necessarily want to limit all the bounties to that, because
Yep.
that may, I don't think that's good either.
yep, it's a good point.
So I don't know.
I'll just point out that y'all have Kanban cards, right? And you assign people to Kanban cards. So there's documentation on who's completing Kanban cards, and whether it's paid, there's an incentive tied to the Kanban card or not, right? The Kanban card exists. So
Right. I think my thing is that if somebody hasn't been onboarded to the guild, we don't necessarily want to limit all of our bounties to just people in the guild, but we want to make sure that anybody that claims the active member tag has been onboarded to the guild.
well, if it's like a marketing bounty and you want them onboarded to maybe the marketing department, or the PM, guild. So you can add roles that expand what you want the bounties open to. But I would argue you probably, not many bounties do you want people not onboarded to PM Guild, or at least they definitely need to be onboarded to the DAO, right? But yeah, why wouldn't they have to be onboarded to the guild? Even if it's to claim designer bounties, you should at least go through some kind of onboarding process so that you understand how we use Kanban cards, so that you can document the work that you're doing for the task.
Yeah, and also, I guess we don't have a way to differentiate between those who have been onboarded and those who haven't, right? Like, the PM Guild, Project Management Guild role is self-select, so you can select that, and the active member role is based on your activity and not your knowledge. So there may be a gap in in something there as well.
Wouldn't your onboarding
Yeah, so,
activities just be your first
um,
activities?
So
It could
we
be, but if
have
you're
the
sorry, go ahead.
so we have the form always ready in the PM start here. So when new members come in and they check the start here, they can see the form, and then I can get to them. Introduce themselves. They always get, okay, here, welcome. We want to check the start here, and then I'm having my onboarding hours by 5 p.m. ETC Thursday. You can come in there. So when they come in, they get onboarded. Yeah, after putting them to the onboarding, I will take them to the Kanban board and say, okay, you can look at the tags and see which one you would want to take on. If you find one, you can tag me in the general channel. Then I can assign you to that if it's within my jurisdiction, or you can just tag any holders to the tags and then they can assign you. Yeah, because obviously you've gotten onboarded. So that is for that one. I think where we need to kind of like experiment is where the bountying out part. I feel we can use Notion as well. I was just hoping we could do some bit of bounty boarding, something like using bounty board, the bot itself to set up the tags. We could have a channel separately for the tags for bounties, where we have them there, and then we have users. You can get using bounty board, can get, as far as I remember, you can get to roles, you can get to only a certain user. So say I onboard, let's say Great now, and then he's seen a tax up on the bounty board. No one has taken the tax and he wants to try it on. Because I onboarded him, I'm sure to like use bounty board, set up the bounty, and set the claimant to only Great. So anyone that goes there that wants to claim the bounty won't be able to claim the bounty. Only Great will be able to claim the bounty. And we can track these bounties by using the accounting sheet. I think I created something like that in the PM Guild X Writers Guild collab, where you have the name of the folk that claim the bounty, the person that's assigned out the bounty, the hash number. I copied basically all these from the bounty board accounting. So I think I gave some sort of reference there. So this is what I've been like planning to like try out in the guild. I used that late last season. So I was hoping that maybe this season I could be able to like try out this and let's see how we go from this, because we need to like actually try something out before we can say this is working or not. And basically there in everyone to see if we have a separate channel for that, not a thread, a channel. It's basically there for everyone to see. You can basically go to the channel, even if you are not an active member, you can go to the channel and see, okay, these folks are actually doing something to be able to get this active member tag. So you have something to defend and say, okay, yeah, oh, you don't have the tag, oh, sorry, your name is not here. You can go to that yourself. Like, you can go to it and say, okay, my name is not here. Okay, how do I get this? This is how you go to it. So then we can at least reduce the active members and stuff in the guild. That works, at least in my head.
Mikhail, can you take what's in your head and write it down? Because I was having a little bit of trouble following it all, but if it was written down, it could help a lot.
Yeah, I'll like put it down in the chat right now.
Awesome. I have another idea as well at Mikhail. Like, what if we thought of to write down his method so we can review? What if we looked at bounty board strictly for compensation, not for active membership, and we looked at our Notion Kanban for active membership? It could be that we have, just like Mikhail said, he has, some things that are kind of duplicated on bounty board and the Kanban, but like the idea is that like if we're looking at active membership, it's just the Kanban. So if there's an external bounty, whatever, we're not looking at that. We know we have to pay that, but they're not an active member. But internally, there's someone who's creating those bounties, right? Like, so Sprinkles for Winners, you said, hey, I want to create some bounties to get some educational articles written. It's actually you, Sprinkles for Winners, who should be counted towards the activity for that. If you have a PM who somehow, like if you have someone internally who's less like, let's say, Ernest is saying, hey, I would love to write that article that you post on the bounty board, then what we can do is we can just add them as a collaborator on the task that Sprinkles for Winners has already created to create those educational articles. So it would just be our Notion Kanban for activity and bounty board for compensation. Split those up. Does that make sense?
So Links, it does make sense. And I thought that's what we were doing last season. So I don't know if that necessarily worked or if it was executed, not correctly, if we didn't do it right, what part of it didn't work. I'm not sure.
I mean, just based upon this meeting and going through this Kanban, it feels like we had not very good Kanban discipline.
Okay. So how are we recording the bounties from the bounty board?
Mickey,
know-
Jay Fanny, maybe you can answer that.
I mean,
Okay, maybe not.
I can tell you, I just created my own Kanban card once I got permission to take up the bounty that was posted to the bounty board.
I think my connection is bad. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Now I can't hear you anymore.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Jay Fanny? Maybe not. But you're right that we're definitely missing some tactical
Okay,
information
I
there.
didn't get that. So please can you rephrase the question?
Jay Fanny, you're cutting in and out. I don't know if anyone can hear Jay Fanny really well, but for me, you're cutting in and out.
Sorry, my connection is so.
There he goes. So Ernest, I think that what you were talking about, how you created a Kanban task because you have the active member role, I agree with that, and I think that there's like something missing. Some like, I guess, like, who is responsible for actually calculating active membership? I don't think that we have that really laid out. In some cases, it was the talent coordinator. In some cases, it was our Notion administrator.
So it's basically the talent coordinator first, but since we have the Notion administrator and then we had the cleanup, so I had had little or no access to the Notion page. I can view, yeah, I can edit a bit, but I can like add folks and stuff. So it was basically left to the Notion admin. So I work in hand with the Notion admin when the month is coming to an end. I just reach out to them and say, hey, go through the Notion, the Kanban board, and check through the completed tasks. You want to like move the completed tasks to the completed section, record them down in the Google sheet that I usually track with, and then make sure to include the link to the Notion tasks they completed, so folks can click on the link and see what they actually did. So that's how it played out last season.
Okay. And I guess there was a little bit of confusion here on how that was working. Fill in the active member Google Sheet. Do calculation. Okay. I guess like we didn't even get a full season's worth of active member calculations last season, but I think it is good for us to note who is responsible. I guess like talent coordinator is responsible for ensuring it gets done, but there may be pieces that you delegate to the Notion admin to help you with. Is that kind of the idea?
Yes. I make sure to like go through the Kanban board myself, and once I'm done going through them, seeing that okay, these ones are completed and stuff, I reach out to the Notion admin to move the completed ones to the archive, and then they record it down in the Google Sheet, which I share with the which I share here in the guild. That's the active member calculation for that month.
So you can just create a Notion view that's the people assigned to tasks that have been completed, filtered by the date range that you want, and then that view will always show you who your active members are if you're basing active membership based on completed Kanban tasks.
Yep. So you can do that here, active member view. It could be a table or something like that, and basically you create a filter for like unique people.
Yeah, you want all completed, right? Completed Kanban cards, filtered by range.
Oops, not the created date. But yes, I'm not going to do this now because it is here. But yeah, the idea is that we could change this active member view to just spit out the active members that we actually have for any given month. And I agree with you. It would be easier to do that way.
Yeah, and the list of what they've completed too. You can see that all in.
Yeah, exactly. As well, I don't think that we have to do, like, now that Notion has some new features, I don't necessarily think that we have, like, with this tactical view, we don't actually have to archive stuff, right? Like, it's just hidden. It's here, it's backlogged, or it's in the completed section. And you can see the completed by completed date and stuff like that. But it's hidden. So we don't actually need to archive it. We were before, potentially. Does that make sense? We don't necessarily need to archive those tasks. We could just make an active member view.
Yeah, and if you need a view that shows you like just the last periods, done activities, you can do that, so that you don't have to sift through the whole historical record. And in Thrive too, we should be able to export your Notion property data, or if you got that table, it's even better. And then so we can create Thrive rewards for folks that complete PM Guild tasks. If y'all want.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be a good idea. We're coming up on the end of our time. I'm going to create a task for I'll assign it to myself. Let's call it administration. But I think it's important enough that we should work on it. And we'll put some success criteria here. Update the active member criteria based on guild input. Update the active member doc, or actually create a proposal to update the active member doc. Get the proposal passed and update all of our documentation plus processes. And this is based upon this weekly meeting, which I will put here. Based on this weekly meet. All right. Does that make sense? Is that a good way that we can push this forward asynchronously? We can take some discussion time next week if we need it, but I think it's important enough that we work on it at least asynchronously.
Of course, this makes sense. Also, the message has been sent out in the marketing social media channel. When they get back to me, my card is here. Do I have a stack set up for that, or I just need to ping?
I don't know. Was there a task for that? I can't remember. I think maybe we put it in here. Did I put it in here? That was related to the merch, right?
Yeah.
You can just put an update. You can just put an update in the merch here if you like.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, this was our first meet of season 7. We are always trying to improve. If you have any feedback for me, feel free to let me know personally. You can drop it into PM General, or you can tell someone else that you trust if you like as well. But the idea being that we improve week over week and practice our practice. So that is the meet for today. Just want to express my thanks to all of you for being here and putting in the hard work to push the PM Guild forward. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you next week.
Thanks.